We are celebrating the 250th birthday of America by profiling inspiring people in Tampa Bay who are making a difference. More than 3 million Floridians are living with a disability. Our state has the third highest disabled population behind California and Texas. I recently reconnected with a remarkable man who I originally met 30 years ago. Today, he's making a profound impact on young minds.
I went up in heaven, I saw God, and he just told me, it's not time for you. And he sent me back down.
There are stories that move you and some that change you.
Why would God allow this to happen to someone, to an innocent child? A God who is a loving God.
3 decades ago, 8-year-old Kyle Romano invited me into his world of disability and determination.
Well, I just want them to know that I can do a lot.
He was born with arms and legs.
These are Kyle's handprints when he was 5 months old, his first Christmas.
But at the age of 1, a fast-moving bacterial infection forced the amputation of Kyle's limbs to save his life.
My arms started turning blacker and blacker and blacker.
I says, this child's not going to make it. He's just not going to make it.
Hey, Dave. It's great to see you.
Today, through faith and fortitude,
So, good reflexivity. Very nice.
Kyle has found his calling in a classroom, a professor at the University of South Florida.
I did my paper on the show Glee because there's such a wide range of disabled characters.
His honors college course, The Representation of Disability in Pop Culture.
Only 3.5% of characters on TV are disabled when 15% of the population is disabled. So the fact that they had so many was great, but they're missing the mark on a lot of things.
Most of the students don't have a ton of exposure to people with disabilities, but for most people, their first exposure to disability is through pop culture.
You're just seeing villain after villain after villain, and so many of them have physical disabilities.
Do you think people are afraid of people with disabilities?
100%, yeah, absolutely.
Why?
I think that it's because we, as humans, are inherently afraid of difference.
It may be the most important class that is taught here at the Honors College.
Bethany Jowers is Kyle's teaching assistant.
There's nothing like it probably in Florida.
And it's not just in the classroom. It's the rolling field trips that open students' eyes to the obstacles for people with disabilities.
I was not able to fit through structures. I could not open a single door. I couldn't even get into class.
He sort of really taught us why all of this matters, because it has a big impact on legislative issues.
Kyle is taking his lived experience to Tallahassee and Washington, lobbying with Disability Rights Florida for those facing more obstacles than opportunity.
How alarming is it to you to see the cutbacks in diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Oh, it's terrible. I may be out of a job at any given time. That's the way that legislation works, right? If all of the other stuff with DEI goes, so will talk about disability rights.
At Custom Mobility in Largo, Kyle is both an employee and a longtime customer. They custom designed Kyle's first wheelchair.
Kyle's bill is complex.
And everyone since. Plus this custom van that allows Kyle to drive.
I had to go through pretty rigorous driving training because all of this equipment is very sensitive.
As Custom Mobility's marketing and social media coordinator, Kyle knows how to drive home a message.
He's been a tremendous help.
Getting insurance to pay for mobility is an ongoing battle.
Kyle would not have been able to go through his educational process, get his degree, and become gainfully employed if he didn't have the technology. And every chair that we've gotten for him it's been a battle.
Kyle knows a thing or two about battles. He's an avid gamer and grew up wrestling his younger brother Kent, a brother who was inspired to become a doctor of physical therapy.
Kyle was pretty much my main motivation. I saw the positive impact that physical therapy had on Kyle. They said Kyle would never be able to sit up on his own. He would never be able to write or do anything on his own, but with physical therapy and the intense rehab he had through there, I mean, the sky's been the limit for Kyle.
Back at USF, it's Bethany Jower's last day.
I mean, he's really opened my eyes to the way that he sees the world.
As she heads off to become an MD, PhD student at Harvard and MIT.
I feel like I carry a little bit of that perspective with me everywhere I go now.
Right now, I have a real good heart about everybody. I care about everybody.
The boy who touched our hearts is transforming minds.
Figure out the technique or no?
One class,
Okay.
one conversation at a time.
Okay. It's just a fact of reality, right? Disability exists, and if we don't talk about it, then we just foster ignorance, and that's why I'm here. So.
30 years later, Kyle still has a profound impact on me. He's incredibly smart, intuitive, and kind. And like everyone who is lucky enough to meet Kyle, he has changed my view of this world.